Welcome to Grace Over Grit and Growth, the podcast where we empower women to be who they are gracefully while being unapologetic.
Hello there, I'm Monique Fisher.
And I'm Alita Anderson.
And welcome to Grace Over Grit and Growth.
Welcome aboard.
And today we're going to talk about
seniors.
Savvy seniors.
Yes.
And a little bit of savings.
A lot of savings.
A lot of savings. I love it.
A lot of S's, a lot of savings. And the S's go for the dollar signs.
The dollar sign. Oh, a lot of alliterations going on here.
So one of the perks of being a senior, well, there's several. We're going to kind of go through that today. We want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the things that you qualify for, that you're owed. Because over the years you've paid into it. So now It's time to reap some of those benefits, the discounts and things like that. So we're going to walk through what some of those are to making sure that, like I said, that you're taking advantage of it in case you aren't. And you can share it with somebody. If you're not a senior, but you know someone that is, maybe you can share some of these tips with them.
And when you say senior, you're talking what, age? 65 plus?
65, in some instances, 62.
Yeah.
I chuckled just a little bit because in the real estate world in Illinois, you're a senior when
40.
Yeah, so
40 plus. Senior.
40 plus, you're senior.
In
that's
real estate.
That's what you're considered. So it really depends on what you're talking about.
Right.
So
that's what I was saying. Let's kind of define.
Yeah, makes sense. So but that's what we're gonna go with for today. For retail and groceries, sometimes you'll see. Now I'm drawing a blank on the particular days, but some grocery stores have certain days.
Girl, it's mostly Wednesday.
It's Wednesdays, the middle of the day.
Because I'll be like, the seniors are out.
Yes. So it's grocery stores have an additional discount. Not all of them, but some of them do. So you can ask, Google, look at your chain. They have a lot of times they have signs too. I know Kohl's has Wednesday seniors. I always see theirs. So different retail chains, grocery stores, you can take advantage of it. And also one I didn't know was utility bills. Some of the utilities, if you ask, you could ask them for discounts for seniors for certain things. Sometimes it's not your full service. Sometimes it could be service calls, and sometimes it could be an upgrade to something else, but you get it at a discount because you're a senior.
I didn't know that.
So they said ask about that. Prescription savings, because goodness gracious, healthcare is expensive.
Ridiculous.
So it's very expensive. So some places have discounts for seniors for prescription services. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they'll ask you to do like a 90-day, fill it for 90 days, and you'll get an additional
buying in bulk.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes too, they'll say it's a membership. So if it's like a CVS or something like that, you have a membership and you get an additional discount for being a senior and being part of there. So it's like an extra savings on top of that. And then travel, because if you're retired, you might want to go some places other than where you reside. So ask for those discounts with airlines, cruise lines, Amtrak. One of the things I found out with Amtrak too is that if you go online, it doesn't necessarily, it asks your age for the passengers, but it doesn't always plug in your discount. So sometimes you have to call and then say, I want my senior discount.
Can I tell you a funny story? And this don't really have nothing to do with seniors.
What?
Since you talking about the train, we took the train downtown Chicago. Mm-hmm. My friend got a military discount, and she bought all of us tickets. So when the guy came through, she had the tickets on her phone, and he said, "I know damn well y'all ain't active military."
He was like, "Can you prove it?"
And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, I know you're not active military." So he just said, that's just for them. So I say that to say check see what it includes, because that just happened like 2 weeks ago. Girl, I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, okay." He let us slide, but
it was like next time,
don't do that. So just check what it really means.
The other thing with Amtrak too, you can check, or you can let them know. Let's say if you're with someone who's a senior who's challenged with mobility,
needs assistance,
and they need assistance, but you're with them, then you do get the senior discount.
Yes,
because you're with them. So you have to let them know all that in order to get the discounts. Hotels have discounts as well for seniors. It's funny, they said amusement parks. I don't know how many seniors are going to amusement parks.
Well, they may be taking their grandkids.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm like, okay, amusement parks. So don't hesitate to ask. The movie theater is another one who has discounts on certain days. museums. And the one that I didn't know is that there's a national park pass for seniors that you can get, and you just get a discount on all the national parks throughout the country. Well, I'll leave that be. I'm going to say, well, I don't know if that's still in existence currently because national parks have kind of been pushed down on the totem pole, but that's what it was. They also, different libraries have different passes as well. So you can go in and get those passes for local things, but you'll get an additional discount as being a senior. You just get it through the library and they can provide you with information for that.
Yeah. And then your AARP card. You get so much, you get discounts. Then you know, different local, like McDonald's or Burger King or stores.
So one of the things we used to laugh at when we used to go visit my grandfather in Alabama when we were younger, he would take us like to go, I don't know, like to Kentucky Fried Chicken or somewhere else. We'd be like, Granddad, where we go eat? And he has Wallace. Remember how the Wallace used to have like the picture thing? Like he'd be like, he'd be like this, and all this senior guy, pick a place. So my sister and I'd be like, let's go here. He'd be like, all right, let's go. I was like, why Granddad got all those cards? It was like, that's a senior discount card. We used to always we used to think it was so fun, like, oh, where can we go? So we would pick from there. And that's
Girl, I love it. But that's the point, right? Take advantage of your benefits.
Yes, that is the point.
Whatever's open and offered to you.
That is the point. So we had a good time with that. So I don't know if they have the cards anymore because everything's so digital. But you do have, like you said, several restaurants and things like that where you can take advantage.
Yes.
And the one that's true to us, and what we use near and dear to our house is different things for home ownership.
Yes.
So property taxes. There's certain exemptions with the freeze. You can get a senior exemption, and then there's a new one.
Yes.
Well,
there's a deferred. So let's break those down.
Yes.
The senior exemption, you automatically apply for 65 at the residence that you live in. It's your primary residence. That's the senior exemption. The senior tax freeze is 65 and older, but you have to make less than $65,000 in household income. So that's not for everybody. But if that's you, then there's another layer on top of that. Then we recently found out about a senior deferred tax. And so that's for seniors who have a lower income coming in. Maybe it's a low Social Security or it's just a small pension. They can defer their taxes and it becomes a lien on the home. Okay. So evidently, cities and counties, they have grants for this and you apply for that grant. And so then they'll pay your taxes, but again, it becomes a lien on your home. So then once you pass and whoever you leave it to, if your home has value, then you have to pay back those liens. And then the rest of the funds or equity goes to your heirs. So that's something else too.
Yes.
That I'm just learning about. So those are things that you can take advantage of. For home
and if you're
ownership.
not sure, go to your tax wherever your tax building is. If it's a county,
it should
if it's
be
a
county.
village,
Yes.
Go there. Tell them what you're trying to do. They can help you fill out the paperwork that you need. They can explain to you also how you qualify or if you qualify. And sometimes if you qualified and it's gone back, sometimes they'll backdate it. You may get some savings too. So it kind of just depends. So it may not be an open window because sometimes they have an open window of when you can actually apply. But if it's not that time, they'll at least give you the instructions and tell you when to apply. So don't, get discouraged if they say the window's not open. You still will be able to fill out the application and you just have to turn it in when the window actually opens.
And that senior exemption usually doesn't kick in until you're 66. That's why I tell everybody on your 65th birthday, you go to the county and say, I'm 65. So whenever it's supposed to kick in. Then let it kick in. Now that one will stay with you just like your home exemption. Now, if you don't have your home homestead exemption, I need everybody to check that too.
Oh, definitely.
Just for living in the home, you should have a homestead exemption.
You should, and don't assume that you have it.
And don't assume that you have it. You need to check.
Because I've had a couple clients that they purchased, like for instance, I had a client that purchased from a veteran and he was 100%. So he didn't have any taxes in there. So there was never a homestead on there because he never had taxes. So they literally had to go in and apply for that exemption. And I think they went in like in the middle. So they got half of the they missed a year or almost 6 months of a year.
Okay.
So they got some back of it. But go
You
check.
have to check.
You have to check and make sure.
Now, the tax freeze you have to do every year because, of course, it's income based and people's income can change.
Right.
So the senior tax exempt is just like the homestead exempt. Once you apply for it, it's good. But that freeze is a yearly thing.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you stay on top of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then, you know, a lot of times seniors may own their home. So they're like, oh, I have my house. And what do you do in those instances?
So let's talk about, we have a little scenario here. So we got Miss Johnson, okay? Her house is paid for, free and clear.
All right.
She's 67 years old. She bought a house like in the 90s, 95, and she paid $140,000 for it. Her house is now worth $420K.
All right, equity.
Come on now, equity, and again, her mortgage is paid off, so she feels secure, and she should, because she's doing really good.
Yeah.
But her property taxes are $10,000 a year.
Welcome to Illinois.
Come on now. Her roof is getting old. It's about 18 years old. The furnace is aging. So in other words, she's starting to see where she needs to start doing more things in the house. And her income is Social Security and a small pension. Okay. So Ms. Johnson is really house rich, right? But she's a little cash flow type. I'm not going to say cash poor, but she's tight. She's tight, especially with those taxes. Yeah. So let's talk about a couple of options that she could do. So she could apply for the senior exemption and freeze that we just talked about. She could budget for capital for an improvements. We definitely want her to do her estate planning, right?
Yes.
Because she's got all this equity. We don't just want it to go back to the state. No. We don't want that. And then she could possibly consider a small line of credit. So if you heard of HELOCs, those are line of credits. And so you may be approved for, say, $50K, but if she just needs only $20K, that's the good thing about that. She can just take that $20K, do her improvements, and now she's only paying back on the $20K. But she has that $30K sitting there in case something happens for emergencies. So that's kind of, that's a strategy, because if she wants to stay in her house, right? Then there's option B. What if she downsizes? So she sells for $420. Let's say she gets that. Okay. After cost and nets and everything, she get, let's say, $380.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So she buys a ranch. She probably goes to a 55+ community. You can get a nice ranch for $250 to $280. Right. So let's say $260. Okay. She does that. She has no mortgage. She's got much lower taxes. Yes. She's probably in the $4,500 range to $5K here in Illinois. And now she's got $120,000 that's liquid. Right? She can invest part of that. She can keep that 50 or 60 that we just talked about in a home equity line of credit, keep it in a high yield savings account, right? For all her emergencies or anything that she needs. And then she, like I said, she can invest $70K of that into something. She can put it in a Roth IRA or whatever, something that's going to produce more money for her. So now her house goes from being, just saying my house is paid off. Right. The point of all of this is, what are you doing with it? And this is what we trying to show young people too. Equity gives you flexibility, right? So her house goes from being static wealth to flexible wealth. She's got options. She can stay. She's probably got good credit. She's paid it off. She's going to get a line of credit. They're going to give her that. So whichever direction she wants to go, she has options.
And that's what's very powerful, is the options. And like you mentioned, we always, like we said, we purchased a home, or people purchase homes so that they have an asset. And it's great to have an asset, but how is that asset working for you?
How is it working?
And that changes in different seasons of life.
It does.
And it changes to what's going to make you comfortable. Because I've had some seniors too who have downsized and look at it and they say, you know what, I'm going to be here, but I'm splitting my time between here and someplace warm. Yeah. So now I'd rather have a condo where maintenance is taken care of, this and that, and do this here. And then I don't need all this or want all that to maintain. So what makes you happy? What is your lifestyle? What's conducive to you? And how does that, and you mentioned a great thing with the HELOC. A lot of times what happens with HELOCs is that people wait until they need them, then apply. And that's typically when you probably won't get approved.
And that's when you won't get approved.
So if you apply for it, just because you have that equity in the house, it's there sitting waiting for you. So if you do need it, you just draw for it instead of having to apply, figure all that out. And, whatever it is that you're trying to do at that moment, do it all at once.
That is an excellent
So
point.
you want to do that ahead of time.
Yes.
And just have it there instead of waiting till you need.
Yes, and it can just sit,
Mhm.
and it sits interest free. You're not
Right.
paying anything
No
on
penalty-
it.
no
If you
penalties.
don't touch it, there's no payment,
Mhm.
right? And you should do that while you're employed,
Yes.
and you can show that you have income coming in. Because you're right, when you need it, that's when they're gonna say, no, ma'am.
Exactly, because at that time, it's probably some circumstances. Is it a loss of employment, or something happens, or you're behind in something? So then it's like those things are going to count against you. So just to give yourself, like we just talked about, some breathing room.
Yes.
And the fact that you have options, you want to
Yeah,
make sure you have those
that's what
options
it's
so
all
that you
about.
can make the best decision for you.
You want to do one more scenario?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, they're 68 and they still owe on their home.
Okay.
Okay. So they refinanced during COVID. Now
Mhm.
ain't nobody moving. They got the 3.1%.
Right. They're hanging on.
They hanging on, right? The current home value is $500K,
Okay.
but they still owe 210,000.
All right.
That's their balance on their mortgage. Okay, so their payment is around $1,300. That's just the
Mhm.
principal, and then with a little interest. So they're probably about $2,200.
Mhm.
So they're comfortable with that payment, though. They don't hate the payment, but it limits their flexibility.
Yeah.
So they're living.
Yeah.
They're not hurting, but they're retired at 67.
Mhm.
So now we evaluate. Okay, so let's say they want to stay.
Okay.
They can keep that low interest rate, apply for our senior exemptions that we talked about,
Mhm.
and create like a 5-year maintenance plan,
Mhm.
and just make sure that things are done. If they want to downsize, so let's say they sell for $500K,
Mhm.
they pay off $210 after costs and everything, they have $250,000, and they actually go buy a condo that's $300K.
Mhm.
So they have a very small mortgage,
Right.
and they use their net and savings to buy with mostly cash. Okay, so now their monthly expenses, they drop significantly.
Right.
Maintenance is now HOA, so they're not
Mhm.
out there shoveling and raking
Right.
and doing all of that
Mhm.
and pruning and all of that. Unless that brings you joy. It doesn't bring me joy, but
Me
that might
either.
bring somebody joy. So let me not be sarcastic in that. But they gain some lifestyle freedom, right? So sometimes downsizing isn't about space.
Mm-mm.
It's about eliminating monthly debt.
Yeah.
And so that's another way to look at it.
Mhm.
Some people say, I got this 3.1%, where would I go? But you really don't want that big house.
Exactly.
Right. And all the expenses
And
it is to maintain it.
Mhm. And that's a
So-
lot of people forget that piece of it, the maintenance cost of it.
Yeah.
The taxes, because if it's a bigger home, the taxes are going to be a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're getting older, do you really want to do all of that? Like, do you want to have to do, or is it something that you want to live where they're doing some of the maintenance for you?
Right.
And it
Yeah.
makes it a little bit easier for you to come in and out. So it's gonna be based on, like you said, typically what your lifestyle is, what brings you joy, and how you want to live and how you want to move.
Right.
The goal is for you to be able to use your home, which is your asset, so that you can it opens up. We talked about the options so that you can travel the path that fits you best.
Right.
And that can look a little
Absolutely.
different. And if you have questions about it, we don't anticipate, reach out. We can walk you through the scenarios. We can get you in touch with someone that, if you want looking at a HELOC, if you're trying to figure out, okay, what is my house really worth if we were to sell? What we just talked about, netting, things like that. We can figure all that out.
Oh, yeah. There's
So we can sit down
HELOCs,
with you.
there's cash out refinance,
Yeah.
there's reverse mortgages.
Mhm.
That's another product
That
has a very negative stigmatism.
Yes.
And it's not.
No, and the reason being, I think, because years ago when you heard reverse mortgages, it was a time when they had no caps and no safeguards on them. So
Right.
people were able to just really get themselves in trouble and basically lose their asset. Now they've put some regulations and guardrails on it, so
Right.
it really does work with you to figure out what it is that you want to do. And then it also gives you option if you still wanted to leave something for your heirs or whatnot. So they have the opportunity to do that, and you can figure out what that would look like.
Yeah.
So you can see, I mean, you can determine.
Right. And they're
On this.
used for when you too have a lot of equity.
Yeah.
You can apply for a reverse mortgage starting at the age of 62,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, and the older you get, the more equity you're able to get out of the house based on your age. But you can start at the age of 62
Right.
getting a reverse mortgage.
Mhm.
And so, of course, we would tell you to research it and that type of thing. But just know that that's another tool or product that may fit what it is that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You may be somebody who doesn't have children. And so, you know, leaving that home as a asset, as you know, to someone, it doesn't really mean a lot to you.
No.
So then a reverse mortgage is probably one of the perfect tools for you to live out that equity and you know, make things easier on you so you can do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
So,
or if you have like, we have a couple scenarios where they had children, but they knew their children didn't want the home as
or
an asset.
didn't want the home.
Or the dollar amount that they would have to pay in order to pay the house off to keep the house, they had an insurance policy. So it was like a catch-22. So you have the option to use it for that, or you have the option not to. What are you going to do?
And talk about it, because we've had some adult children who thought they were getting the house, and then they found out mama and daddy did the reverse mortgage, and that there was no equity left.
Yes.
So, you know, again, that's a part of that estate planning and talking and creating a strategy.
So that you know, so that everybody's on the same page.
Yes.
You know, because if you have kids that are in the position to be able to step in and assume that, or to pay it off,
yeah, they may do that.
They may want to do that and keep it as an asset, and you know, rent it or whatever they want, own it, however they want to do it. But it's no fun to find that out as a surprise.
No, it is not.
So like Monique mentioned, make sure that you're sharing what that looks like. Not saying you have to get permission, but just so that everybody's on the same page, so they understand what's going to happen. What
It's
could possibly
no fun
happen
explaining
next.
it to somebody who didn't know.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So.
At all. So there's tons of different ways that you can do it. So, you know, we are talking about seniors and Grace being able to take advantage. You've worked hard.
Yes.
You've earned all of these privileges. You've paid all of these taxes and everything else over the years. Make sure you take advantage of the things. And then if you need an advocate that's going to help you and you're not sure, you know, we both have very good ties with people that work in these industries that could help you. So don't hesitate to ask questions if you need some assistance or direction as to where to go or how to move next.
Yeah, and actually, if you live in smaller communities too, go to your villages. I know here in Bolingbrook we have the Levy Center for Seniors.
Yes.
And honey, them some sassy seniors. They are working out, you know, and all of that is no cost to them. They line dance, they country line dance.
Yeah, they have similar things.
They exercise. They got the chair exercising, and they Tai Chi in there. They doing crafts with the clay, pottery.
Oh, pottery.
They have pottery classes, and all of that is free to them.
Yeah, and they do trips too.
And they do trips.
I know the one in Joliet, they do trips to the casinos and different places, and sometimes it's even other places. But you also get to meet people who are in similar circumstances as you, so that the resources, and you find a pool of resources that people have utilized and can give you reviews on too. So it's definitely a plus to reach out to them.
And then there's 55 plus communities where they have a lot of activities as well. So if you're an active senior, you know, you get in those. I love the ones that have townhomes, condos, and single family homes. It's a very nice mix, you know. And then you can definitely tell them, children, they can't be there because you have to be 55 and older to live.
Sorry,
you can't stay with me. You can tell your grandchild, no, you can't be here. You can come for a week or two, but that's it. They check. So if you have a problem saying no, that's a good place to move.
Right, they'll say no for you.
They'll say no for you, yes. So
good. If you have any questions or about resources or anything like that, that maybe we didn't touch on or you'd like us to expand on, please just let us know. You can, as always, drop us a comment. You can send us a DM. A lot of you have our personal information. Reach out directly. Feel free to do that as well. But we'd love to help you. and we can definitely point you in the right direction.
Don't forget to click that subscribe button
Yes.
if this is the first time you're seeing us or somebody sent you our way.
Mhm.
And we can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yes, we can.
See there, I knew it without you even
I know,
asking.
you got it down.
Girl, come on.
Well, we just wanted to jump in and share some resources with you.
Yes.
So appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.